Welcome to the Eutaw Street Banter podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode here on the Eutaw Street Banter podcast. I'm Cody. With me, like always, is Elisha. What's up, buddy?
Not too much. How are you?
Just living the dream, man. Just living the dream. Yeah, man, we got a pretty fun episode today. We'll jump right in. Not planning on it being like a super long one, so maybe, just on the way to work and on the way back, and you've, hopefully listened to it. Hopefully.
Just a nice light one, not too hard to digest. We're not going to get any mad or sad.
No stress.
No stress. This is just a trip down memory lane,
you
might say. And we're going to go over the 2015 Orioles season.
Yeah, a New Year's Day was just a few weeks ago, so it's one of those things where we thought we could look back a decade ago at the 2015 Baltimore Orioles. One of my favorite parts about this team was we've kind of just recently went through something like this where right after this season, this was the start of like the Orioles kind of turning it around for a few years, right? So some pretty fun ones. You got any notable guys on the team? I skipped trivia.
We did.
We're going to get to notable guys, but I love to skip trivia for some reason.
You do? Well, it's because you get them wrong. So this one, it's sticking on theme. So surprisingly, the Orioles only had 3 catchers play in the 2015 season.
Okay.
Who were they? 2 of them are easy.
Caleb Joseph.
Yes.
Matt Wieters.
Yep.
Oh, and there's another catcher. Is he? Should I know who he is? Like,
no, probably. If it helps you out, he played 10 games.
Did he play anywhere else?
No, just catcher.
No, I mean like for any other team.
Oh, yeah, hold up. I'll hide this.
Okay, he's trying to hide it. Has he ever been in our minor league system?
I don't believe so. So he played for the Red Sox for a while before us, and then after us, he went to Atlanta.
Lavarnway?
Ryan Lavarnway.
Ryan Lavarnway. Oh, I got lucky there.
He has a career negative 1.2 WAR.
Yeah, I only know him because I know somebody that was like friends with him or roommates or something like that of him. It's the only reason I know who that was. So when you said Red Sox, I was like, I'm going to say the only guy that I know played for both teams.
Yeah, so good old Ryan Lavarnway. But yeah, there were actually a lot of star players on this team. When you look at it, the one thing that surprised me is how some of the playing time broke up. Yeah. But so you have your guarantees. You have Chris Davis, Manny Machado. You even saw some Jonathan Scope. This is really when he broke out. Obviously, J.J. Hardy, Adam Jones in the outfield. But you also saw one of my favorite guys for no reason at all, Jimmy Paredes.
Yeah, Jimmy Paredes.
He actually played.
I was a monster with him on MLB The Show back in the day.
But you have Gerardo Parra, played 55 games for the Orioles after we traded for him. Who did we trade for him for?
I had no idea.
So we sent Zach Davies to the Milwaukee Brewers.
Oh, I did know that.
And then we also have Steve Pearce on here. He played a lot of games at left field for us. And then Caleb Joseph played more games at catcher than Matt Wieters did, because Wieters was out for most of that season. But, you got some other guys. You got your Ryan Flaherty. It's just another guy. Travis Snyder.
Yeah, I saw that when I was looking at the transaction report. I'm like, oh my gosh. Travis Snyder, that was one of the ones. And then I also, forgot that in this same season, this is the year that we signed back Nolan Reimold. You forget about like guys like that.
One thing that isn't really too much with the roster that Cody will remember is actually during the 2015 season, I got to go for Kids Opening Day.
Is that what
announced the starting lineup against the Blue Jays one of these games?
That's good.
And I remember you had Alejandro De Aza leading off. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, that he struck out and got to first base, and that's the only time I've ever seen that happen in a major league game.
Oh, really?
That I was at.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But
a couple key things here. In this draft, we drafted first round 25th pick overall. We drafted DJ Stewart, who now plays outfield for the Mets. He actually finally had his best year last year.
Yeah.
And then we also drafted Ryan Mountcastle in the first round. A couple other notes is we drafted Cedric Mullins in the 13th round this year, Nick Vespi in the 18th round.
You skipped over a few.
I did because I mean
we drafted Ryan McKenna in the 4th round.
I'm sorry, I saw that. I didn't even see that. Sorry, all I saw was
Garrett Clevenger in the 3rd.
Yep.
That was a surprising draft.
Yeah, I did skip that whole day. My bad. Yeah, Garrett Clevenger. Yeah, we could have used him, but that's okay.
But I'm scrolling all the way back up to the beginning of free agency. for this season, and you see we started off strong. We signed Oliver Drake,
Not Oliver Drake.
Paul Janish, Ray Navarro. These are some great
God,
guys.
this,
that
you know what
barely
this
played
feels
for us.
like? This feels like 2025.
Yeah. Well, you want to know I don't want to compare 2025 and 2015. So 2014, Orioles make the playoffs. Everyone's feeling great. Get swept by the Royals and get knocked out. Well, 2024, who swept us in the playoffs, knocked us out, the Royals. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of similarities there.
Hopefully we don't go 81 or 81.
We signed a lot more people here, though, because we also brought in Chaz Rowe for a reliever. We released Quentin Berry. That was an interesting one. He's a name that I always just remember.
Yeah.
He's, I think, like the third base coach for the Brewers right now.
Is he really?
We signed Ryan Lavarnway. Well, we got him off waivers from the Cubs. You can also see we re-signed Delman Young that offseason.
Right.
We brought in Chris Parmalee.
Right.
And then here's this is an interesting trade. Who did we get? Who did we send the Pirates for Travis Snyder?
No idea.
Steven Brault.
Oh, not Steven Brault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Travis Snyder, up until then, he was actually pretty
Yeah,
decent.
good old rosy cheeks.
Yeah, rosy cheeks, like saying.
God, he's always had the reddish cheeks. But like you said, we re-signed Nolan Reimold. We signed Everth Cabrera. Now, remember, I feel like we were excited about that when that happened, and he was just not good. Yeah. But there's a lot of great names when you're looking through here what happened. A lot of different random moves, a lot of minor leaguers I've absolutely never heard of. But like we traded halfway through the season. In June, we actually traded Alejandro De Aza to the Red Sox for good old Joe Gunkel.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing to just, if you want to compare the two seasons before we dive too deep in it, is the big hole in this team. The reason why they went 500 was the pitching.
Oh,
I mean, our best pitcher, people are going to have a hard time believing this, Obado Jimenez, he went 12-10. He was our most wins as a pitcher, not best pitcher.
Wins aren't a good stuff.
I know.
You know who our best pitcher
But he pitched 32. He started 32 games, which is huge. Wei-Yin Chen, 11-8. Tillman, 11-11. Miguel Gonzalez, 9-12. Kevin Gausman, who was supposed to be our future stud, was 4-7.
He was a future stud, just not with us.
Not with us, right? I mean, sadly, our best pitcher probably is, well, not probably, well, two best pitchers was in our bullpen, and that was O'Day and Britton.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, they were the only two All-Stars we had on the pitching staff. But, I mean, I know you're trying to really discount Wei-Yin Chen here. He had a 3.34 ERA. He was a stud in 2015, had a really great year. This is when you started to see the short rise of Tillman already started to decline there. And then you even had some names that I'll think about when I'm laying in bed late at night. Like, God, he was so terrible with us. Like, you got like a Mike Wright Jr. I remember there was one time, I think it might have been like 2015 or 2016, and we were driving to the stadium, and I think it was like a Sunday game, and we weren't sure who was pitching. And I remember I looked up as we got there, saw it was Mike Wright. I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. And another one was, I was so excited for this trade that we made with the Astros. We got Bud Norris, and I was so excited. He was okay, but this season he was not. He was 2-9 with a 7.06 ERA.
Wow.
Rough.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, and that was our big, he was their ace. Like, he was the Astros' ace. But that's before the Astros were the Astros.
Yeah, but I mean, you even saw like our bullpen really was the start of the season for us. We had really good seasons even from Brad Brock, Brian Mattis, the infamous sunscreen in a dome when he got caught cheating with sticky stuff. Did you remember that? Yeah. And then you have Tommy Hunter. But then we even have some smaller, lesser-known guys. Michael Givens, he came out with a 1.80 ERA. I think this was his first season. Oliver Drake, Chaz Rowe, both of those who later went on to play for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah. But
a lot of different names, some different people. It's always interesting for me to go back and look at these. 'Cause you do not remember nearly as much as you think you do.
Right.
Like you feel like you pay attention. Like, this is how I look at it. In 10 years, are we going to remember Emmanuel Rivera? Absolutely not.
No, I
There's no
barely
way.
remember him today. Yeah.
It took you a second to remember.
I'm like, remember.
Well, that's when I bring up Levon Soto.
Yeah.
In a couple of years, Cody's who?
Yeah.
Juan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Even Emmanuel, when he would come across my phone this year, I'm like, oh, the other team scored. And then I'm like, oh, no, he's on our team. I forgot. Because he was actually usually a part of an RBI or a run scored because he did great for us. I mean, he did. exactly what we needed. A couple of fun things. So looking at your home run leaders on this team, because that's what this team was. It was home run or strikeout. Chris Davis, he led the team with 47 bombs, 117 RBIs. Led the team in both. Manny Machado, he was number 2 with 35 home runs, 86 RBIs. And then our boy Adam Jones, 27 home runs with 82 RBIs. Then pretty big drop there. You had Steve Pierce, who had 15. Scopey had 15. Caleb Joseph, surprising 11, you know.
He got popped.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. But, yeah, I mean, and then it's one of those things where you go, okay, who was second in the team in RBIs? And that's Jimmy Paredes. That's crazy, with 111 RBIs.
Wow, and he had more RBIs.
I'm sorry. Nope. I'm looking at strikeouts. 42 RBIs. Whew, sorry. So no, he didn't. But still, I mean,
yeah,
Jimmy
Chris Davis had 117 RBIs.
Yeah. So Jimmy Paredes had 10 home runs, 42 RBIs. So, the one surprise here, when I'm looking, just because I don't remember this, J.J. Hardy played 114 games and only 8 home runs, 37 RBIs.
Wow,
that's a pretty big drop.
Yeah.
You know,
I think this is when he started. The age really caught up to him, and he started barely being able to hobble around the base path.
Yeah, better at 219.
Yeah, rough season. But it was kind of a down year for all of them. I mean, looking at how the schedule shaped out, we were almost a perfect 500 team, kind of all the way through. I mean, the first 20 games we ended with a 10-10 record, and you stayed pretty much within that. Bounced between 3rd and 4th place the entire season. Towards the end, we stuck more towards 3rd. 81 and 81. The one thing I did notice is we swept the Yankees to end the year, and they were a playoff team that year, so, really putting it to them a little bit.
Right, that's crazy.
But I was telling Cody, I mean, the 3 pitchers for the Yankees that year, for that series that got the losses, Ivan Nova, Dellin Betances, and Michael Pineda, just people you don't remember at all.
Right.
And, I mean, the one constant that you really see on here is Britton's name popping up for saves and O'Day's name every once in a while. They were really, they were the stars of this team. And through the All-Star break, we were really struggling. And then later in the year, even we were really starting to release and trade some players. So you really saw the team start to fall apart, especially a lot of the 2014 team. I mean,
right.
Everett Cabrera's dropped in June. Later in July, you get Delman Young dropped. Then we trade Tommy Hunter to the Cubs for Junior Lake. Never worked out for us. Traded Zach Davies for Gerardo Parra. Parra played the rest of the season. The spark never got there, though. We released Travis Snyder, and we released a few other smaller players and stuff. But it just really, it started just trying to cut salary at the end.
Yeah, so out of this team, give me your top 3 favorite position players.
My top 3 favorite position players. So do Adam Jones 1.
Okay.
Obviously.
Easy.
And then I'll go Manny 2nd and Scope 3rd.
Okay. Nice. That's good. I'm going to go, my favorite player on this lineup is, I guess I got to say Adam Jones 1. He's my favorite player on this lineup. J.J. Hardy's number 2, not because of the season he had, just because I like J.J. Hardy, right? I mean, he came to work every day, played 114 games. And then my third, I guess I'll go with Manny.
Yeah.
Because as an Oriole, I loved him as an Oriole.
I mean, that's what, I know you guys can't see, there's nothing here, but this is a Manny jersey I got on right now.
Yeah.
It was a sad time when we got rid of him. But JJ was definitely a close one for me, too.
Yeah.
I really like Jonathan Scope.
Yeah, me too. I like Jonathan Scope, too. I got to know Jonathan Scope when he was on the Shorebirds, and he was very nice, very kind. Speaking of Michael Gibbons was another one. He played second base, shortstop for the Shorebirds. He was awesome, too, All right, going to the pitching side, give me your top 3 pitchers here.
Top 3, Wei Yen Chen, O'Day, and Britton, probably.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, my number 1 is O'Day.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Darren O'Day fan. Loved him. And I'm going to go... Oh, this is tough. I feel like I should have been ready for this question that I asked myself. I guess Britton would be my next one. It kind of sucks that he stayed with the Yankees for so long. Which I would too. I get it. I'm going to stay in the bullpen, I guess, the whole time. And go... Oh, man, that's tough. All right. O'Day... Britton, and Brad Brock. Right, because Brad Brock could have been a closer on any other team at this point. He was a stud.
Yeah, fun story about Brad Brock. It was actually me and my parents were, I believe, in Arizona
Okay.
We were somewhere, I think it was Arizona, and we actually sat like in the row behind or next to Brad Bach's dad
Oh yeah.
and talked to him for
Was it cool?
Yeah. I don't remember too much of it, but
Yeah. That's cool.
so then, I mean, even this whole season definitely was a disappointment coming off of a great season in 2014, and they bounced back the next season. But you even saw some of the pieces of the 2016 team really start to be built after the season, because in December we traded Steve Clevenger to the Mariners for Mark Trumbo.
Oh really?
And that's how we got Trumbo, and which is a huge value for us. I don't know exactly what Trumbo's 2015 season looked like, but it must have not been great for him to be traded just for Steve Clevenger.
Yeah. I don't know.
But obviously that really helped us. And then the one thing I also noticed is that there's two big names in the Rule 5 draft that the Orioles dealt with.
Okay, who we got?
So we actually lost someone to the Angels.
Who's that?
G-Man Choi.
Really?
I never even knew he was in the Orioles farm system. We picked him up, claimed him off waivers or something like that earlier in the season.
Okay.
And he never played in the majors, but he got claimed by the Angels. And then we got Joey Ricker from the Tampa Bay Rays.
Wow.
Which he was a big part of the next few years for the Orioles. I know I was a big fan of Joey Rickard in his time in Baltimore. We also signed Hyun-Soo Kim later that in December, and we re-signed some other people, but it was definitely an interesting one. We had the infamous Chris Davis contract that all season where we paid him an insane amount of money.
Looking at that Mark Trumbo signing, I mean, he wasn't terrible. So they got him from Arizona in 2015. By they, I mean Seattle. And I mean, he had in Arizona, he had 9 home runs, 23 RBIs, and then for Seattle, he had 13 and 41. So I mean, still 30, whatever it is, 30 some home runs. And you know,
and Steve Clevenger, he was coming off a 2014 season with the Orioles. In 35 games, he put up a 626 OPS, and then in 35 games in 2015, he put up a 740 OPS. So it really wasn't anything special. Yeah. That's a really surprising.
Yeah, because I mean, the other issue is that the very next year, Mark Trumbo hits the most home runs he's ever hit, 47.
Yeah, you can't predict that really.
With 108 RBIs.
I mean, he did his best with the Orioles.
He never even got to half of that afterwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I remember after that season, I was like, oh, here we go. And nope. It was done. Yep.
But, well, it didn't matter. Britton was left in the bullpen in 16.
Don't you love it?
Yeah, but
we're not salty.
Oh no, not at all. But
you know who my favorite player on this whole team? Well, one of my favorite people on this whole team, Buck Showalter.
Yeah,
he's probably my favorite. I never liked looking at Dan Duquette all the time because he has a rough face. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's just. I mean, obviously, Adam Jones is the leader on this team.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think this is one of those teams where. Not to sound rude, but we're on the verge of this year, and I'm hoping not.
Yeah, because, I mean, it seems like the same thing happened in 2014. You know, the Orioles ran the division. Other teams added in free agency. We didn't really, and we fell to the bottom. The Red Sox, Yankees look good. Blue Jays are going to be good. Rays are going to
Yeah,
they're going to be the Rays.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's looking scary for us. I'm sure something will happen.
Yeah. But going back to 2015, the one thing that I will say is we did come right back up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's sort of like when we went 500 this season. We weren't under 500, but we were exactly 500. Is the front office stepped up the next season and kind of got it going again. The issue when that happens is obviously we're in the middle of Manny Machado's contract here. Is you're starting to get towards the end and you kind of in crunch time, you know. So kind of trying to make sure, hopefully we don't get in the same boat. If that makes sense to you. I
don't want it to be Adley's last year and we're just scrambling to put pieces together.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of I agree. But like I said, I still do like that team, the players on that team, but you see the whole at pitching, kind of just where it stands, now.
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Know? But
so, I do have a question for you though, Cody. How many people that played for the 2015 Orioles are still playing today?
Okay, I don't have my screen up anymore. All right, so I got Manny.
Yep, that's one.
Okay, I can't remember. I'll say 3.
So I won't say yes or no because I'm not 100% sure about the fourth one.
Okay.
I guarantee you there's 3. There may be 4.
Okay.
So it's Manny.
Okay.
Can you name anyone else?
Um.
I can give you former teams if you want, like who they played for last year.
Okay.
So there's one for the Diamondbacks and one for the A's. And then one played for us at some point last year, I think. Yeah.
Somebody from 2015, 10 years ago. Played
So you have Michael Givens is the one I'm not sure about.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't know if he's still active or not.
Okay.
And then, or Michael Givens was the year before, I guess, last year. I think he's still technically active. I don't think he's officially retired.
Okay.
But then, so you have a reliever from the A's.
Oh, TJ McFarland.
Yep. And then you have a free agent. He was a free agent this offseason, a big free agent. He signed with someone from Texas. He went to Houston.
He went to Houston?
Yeah. Christian Walker.
Christian Walker.
Yeah, he played. Let's see, how many games did he play for the Orioles?
He
played a total of 7 games with 12 plate appearances, and he had 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and 1 hit.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I thought I'd get you with that.
Yeah,
one.
you did. You got me with Christian Walker. I didn't realize. I don't know why. I don't know. I would have never thought that.
Yeah.
That's not
so. But 2015. I mean, it seems like a long time ago, but really, it wasn't. I mean, I think of it this way. I mean, that was 10 years ago. So I guess I was 10 then, 9 and 10. That's crazy to think about. But I don't know. I feel like it's still recent memories to me.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to think that it's been a relatively terrible past 10 years for Orioles baseball since then. I mean, you think since 2015 we've had 4 good seasons, maybe.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah, and some really bad.
And there's more bad than good.
Right.
We're starting to get past that a little bit.
Right.
But I mean, we need
fun.
to win in the playoffs, hopefully.
For sure. I just something for fun real quick. So we went 10 years. So when I dived 20 years back, that's the 2005 Orioles. The Orioles, this is right during the sad times. The old Jersey Orioles we were 74 and 88, which is probably really good. I just can't, I was 14. Give me you're looking at if you're listening to this, there's no way you could tell me who the manager of this team is. Did you look?
No, I'm on the 1965 Orioles website.
Can you there's 2 managers. Wait, okay, so
no clue. I wouldn't even begin to guess. That was before my time.
Lee Mazzelli, okay.
Mazzelli.
And Sam Perlazzo. Good old Lee went 51 and 56. Sam went 23 and 32. This is my prime. Like, I should know that. I should
have known that.
I don't know who those 2 people are.
Yeah.
And if you do, and you're saying you're a hardcore fan, great, good for you. Okay, some of my this team was fun though. I love this team because this is Javi Lopez on the Orioles. Well, we got him from the Atlanta Braves. We have Rafael Palmeiro still here. That's a bomb. He awesome. Brian Roberts, he was our leader. He was like the Adam Jones-ish. Yeah. You got Miguel Tejada, who came from the A's, one of the best power-hitting shortstops in baseball. You got Melvin Moore at third base, one of the best third basemen in Oriole history. Larry Bigby played outfield. He was okay. Luis Matos. And then it's the one. Okay? It's my favorite player as a kid on the Baltimore Orioles, wearing number 21. Say it with me. Sammy Sosa. Right. So loved it. Sammy Sosa, huge year with 14 bombs and 45 RBIs.
How many strikeouts?
We don't talk about that. 84. But anyway, yeah, it's like my favorite player on this whole team. He's my favorite Oriole of all time. Well, except for Cal Ripken Jr. BJ Surhoff is on this team. He's sort of the platoon player. Yeah, I mean, some guys that people probably forgot was on this team. You have Eric Burns, who was pretty good as a ball player. I'm just looking at hitters right now, trying to see if ones that people forget. I think that's about all. I mean, the pitching is where we struggled again. We have Bruce Chen, Rodrigo Lopez, Sidney Ponson. Sidney Ponson will leave this and go to the Yankees after this. Hayden Penn was supposed to be a huge guy. Jorge Julio was a really good relief pitcher we had. BJ Ryan is the version of he's one of the best closers in baseball. We ended up trading him this season. Chris Ray, very good. So again, this is the Oriole way here. Our starting pitching really rough. Our relief pitching very good. B.J. Ryan stud, Chris Ray stud, Jorge Julio stud, but starting pitching not good. I mean, just I don't know how else to say it. But some of the fun stuff is, like I said, Javi Lopez. This is sort of when, if you guys want to be honest, Orioles fans, this is sort of when the Orioles would go and get that veteran that's almost washed, or if not washed. Javi Lopez, this is the end of his career. Rafael Palmeiro is 40 years old.
That was his second stint, too.
Yeah, it was. And you know what? You want to talk about... He hits 18 home runs. I mean, 18 and 60. Brian Roberts also hits 18 with 73. But Miguel Tejada, this is his prime.
Oh, yeah.
26 home runs, 98 RBIs. That was a huge signing when we got him.
Yeah, because he was coming off
Oakland A's.
Yeah, that was his first year with the Orioles.
Yeah. So obviously Jay Gibbons also, he's one of our big power hitters.
Jay Gibbons,
and he played right field.
He
big steroid.
manager of the Blue Jays at one point.
No, that's John Gibbons.
John Gibbons, that's right. I know
Jay Gibbons, big steroid user. One of those guys that got big, like big, because of that. Like he was really nothing until the steroids. Whereas like Palmeiro was just an amazing hitter his whole career.
Oh yeah, and the steroids did help.
The steroids, yeah. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, the batting leader on this team was Mr. Oriole, Brian Roberts.
Yeah.
At this time, people forget that. I mean, without Brian Roberts, nobody would have went to Oriole games. At this point of the career, B.J. Surhoff in 2005 was 40. Also, that's crazy. Give me the team that B.J. Surhoff. I'm sorry. Daggone it.
You want to know why I know that?
Because I'd probably ask you that.
No, because probably, what was it, maybe 6 months ago, something like that, like a long time ago, I did some in-depth stuff with Austin Hayes and compared those two because they were very similar.
Oh, really?
It might have been before the season even started.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It was a long time ago, though. But I remember doing a deep dive on B.J. Surhoff.
But yeah, like I said, this team, obviously, we finished 4th in the AL East. And at 74 and 88, and the Yankees will end up tying the Red Sox in this division. But can you give me the team that wins the World Series in 2005, Elijah?
2005 World Series, that was the Chicago White Sox.
Yep, over the Houston Astros.
Yeah, that was an interesting White Sox team.
Yeah, that team was good. Yeah, they're pitching. Everyone was 100 mile an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
their staff, what was that? Burley and... was Burley on that staff?
Let me pull it up here. Freddie Garcia, Mark Burley, Jose Contreras.
Yeah.
Brandon McCarthy. Man. Jim Garvey. Man.
Yeah,
this team was good, but their hitters were good, too. I mean, they could mash it. A.J. Brzezinski, Paul Konerko, Scott Pasednik, Jermaine Dye. I mean, you look at this team and you're like, good God.
Yeah, well, here, I'll get you one question. So, we're doing decades and stuff. So I went back to 1965.
Okay. How many years ago was that?
A lot. I don't know. I wasn't alive. But, so in 1965, who led the Orioles in wins?
Palmer.
No,
I have no idea.
That was his first year in the league.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Stu Miller.
Oh, good old Stu.
He did not lead. He had the second amount. But he did throw 119 innings out of the bullpen and won 14 games.
Right.
With a 1.89 ERA.
Gotcha.
Our actual win leader, was Steve Barber.
Yeah,
dude, but you had Dave Nick.
He would trim the hair right off your chin.
Milt Pappas.
Yeah.
There's some good ones on this team. But
I mean, I'll be honest, so I know both of our teams, my team that was 20 years ago versus your team that was 10 years ago. You have some favorites. I have some huge favorites on the 2005 team. I mean, they have some of my favorite hitters on that team, obviously.
Well, see, the difference is that Orioles team would go out and actually get big stars like a Sammy Sosa, whereas there's not a single player that I've liked outside of him being an Oriole that's ever become an Oriole. Yeah. I've never once experienced. So it's like, oh, I like this guy. He's a free agent. We might actually get him.
Yeah. Now the Miguel Tejada was crazy big.
Yeah.
Like, that was huge when we got him. Because, I mean, he was the best shortstop in the league with the A's. And when we got him, that was just massive. I forgot Daniel Cabrera was on this team also. Daniel Cabrera, just to give people a shout out, is one of the only people I've ever seen throw a fastball over top the backstop at Arthur W. Purdue Stadium at Delmar Showbirds. I've never seen anything like it. He threw a fastball, missed the entire backstop, and hit the press box.
Wow.
Never seen it. I've never seen it happen. Hopefully I never see it again. Yeah, I mean, it's just... Yeah, and some other guys. I mean, Eric Bedard. Can you give me a good thing about Eric Bedard? What happened?
Traded him to the Seattle Mariners for Adam Jones.
Yeah, huge trade. That, and you want to talk about Oriole fans being furious in 2005.
He was bad after he left.
Yeah, but he was our ace.
Oh, yeah.
He was one of the best lefties in baseball.
Yeah. And
we traded him for a top prospect with a strong last name, though, Adam Jones.
Yeah, God, there's just something about that last name.
That last name, strong, muscular, built. If you're listening to this podcast, we're talking about ourselves right now.
Yeah.
If you're watching it, then just don't say anything. But yeah, I mean, it's fun kind of looking back, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of seeing, your Adam Jones is my Brian Roberts.
Yeah.
You know, if we had to compare those two, sort of, and both are really cool. Both are still heavily involved in the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, yeah. I think that's what, I think as Orioles fans, we're not lucky. I'm not going to say that, but sometimes we're okay because we've had, I think at any point of someone being an Orioles fan, there's been a franchise player.
Yeah.
Like you always have, you got Brooks Robinson, Jim Palmer, Cal Ripken, up to the Brian Roberts. And then you have, there was the 2 years in between, like, Brian Roberts and Adam Jones, maybe where there wasn't, like, a good guy, but you have Adam Jones. And then from, like, the time Adam Jones left till about Adley, you had no one. But that's just a terrible time to be an Orioles fan anyway. And then you have, like, Adley and Gunnar now. It's kind of, we always have, like, that cornerstone franchise players that can carry the team and hopefully carry us to a championship.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this throwback podcast here, and we hope you're staying warm this winter. We can't wait to see you here in a couple weeks, and maybe we'll even have some fun things to talk about, like some acquisitions from our now current Baltimore Orioles. So until then, we can't wait to talk to you again. Make sure you like us on Facebook, Twitter, and X. Follow us on all those platforms. Also, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and if you're watching us on YouTube. But until next time, see you guys.
See ya.